Choosing to make less felt really loaded and heavy. Mainly because I'm thinking like, what will people think about me? Will you perceive me differently because I'm choosing not to make $1 million in annual revenue, even though that has been stuff you've seen, you've heard me talk about, you've seen me accomplish. Those have been things that I've really had to iron out and work through for myself, of really being okay with not giving an F about what other people think, but also giving myself permission to allow it to ebb and flow. Revenue goes up and goes down. And the most powerful thing is when it's a conscious choice versus it going down because you've burned out yourself out or you didn't know how to anticipate market conditions or whatever it might be. So part of what made this such a shift was also unlearning what I've always been taught in our industry, that if you're not setting massive goals, you're playing too small, which is stuff I've heard so many coaches say, that it's a mindset issue. You're playing too small. You need to be growing. And whether that's explicitly stated, and I know you've probably been in those coaching programs or been in those masterminds where it's built into the culture of the community that you are a part of, where that type of growth is expected, how they develop and design curriculum and do their monthly challenges. It's always this massive push. And yes, if you're in a program that's the goal and the intention and the skill set that you're looking to develop, yeah, that's probably where you need to be. But it's so important for us to contextualize and get into the nuance of asking ourselves and pausing long enough to ask ourselves, how much growth is necessary? Why are you doing this? And are you doing it for something that will actually fulfill you? Or are you doing it because you feel as if you need to continue to prove something to your audience, to the industry, to whomever? A lot of the language that I've heard historically is that if you're not having and aiming for quantum leaps or this constant stretch goals, you're settling. For years, that conditioning had me chasing leapfrog growth because anything less felt like failure. This year forced me to untangle that and to unravel that identity that I was holding on myself and those stories that I was telling myself, to realize that I don't have anything left to prove. Like, that I'm allowed to define enough for myself, even if it looks smaller on paper. That success doesn't have to mean hyper independence, hyper vigilance, and constant proving. It can mean choosing the pace and capacity that actually serves the season that I'm in. So letting go of that old measure of success and designing for spaciousness, the right amount of profit, and family planning instead wasn't just a financial decision. It was an identity upgrade. One that required me to release assumptions about how others might perceive me and finally redefine success on my own terms.